last week. So. So we're in Austin, another hotel, another weekend, another hotel.
Well, I can't wait.
Again.
I can't wait to hear about the farm, but we can talk another time. Did you get to go to the farm, Linnell? You
No.
did?
No,
Okay.
I was in workshop all day, but Bart went and just had a grand time.
yeah, just keep singing, ain't gonna work on Maggie's farm no more. Some of you old enough to remember that?
Yeah.
I can sing it.
Yeah.
Good morning.
No, I ain't gonna
Let's hear it.
Work on Maggie's farm no more.
no more.
Bobby Dylan. Bob Zimmerman, I'm sorry.
Okay.
Good morning, everybody.
Hi,
Good
Corinne.
morning, Corinne.
Hey.
Okay.
But,
We've got the recording going, so I can silence everybody if you're. Happy with that. Yeah.
so keeping an attitude of flexibility, this ended up going in a direction I didn't intend to go. So we'll go the direction I intended to go next week and go the direction that my ADD brain, this is my rabbit for the day. So I happened to hit on some really sweet readings about this notion of that we've been treating the past couple of weeks about looking at the background instead of looking at the figures that are going on in your meditation. And that this background of awareness is what the Buddhists call your true self. It's your great abiding. So I found a reading by Sri Ramakrishna. This is actually out of the Hindu tradition. He says, "O longing mind, dwell within the depth of your own pure nature. Do not seek your home elsewhere. Your naked awareness alone, O mind, is the inexhaustible abundance for which you long for so desperately." So again, here's putting it forth: one, the refuge concept, and two, the fulfillment concept, the idea that when you land in that space, all your wants and desires are fulfilled. That's that stuff Jesus talked about, drinking something that's going to quench your thirst. So this is kind of like the promised land. So what is this thing? There's a classic Zen story where a disciple of Hui Ke asked his master, "Please help me to quiet my mind." His master was Bodhidharma, who said, "Well, bring me your mind so I can quiet it." After a while, Hui Ke says, "You can't find my mind." "There," Bodhidharma replied with a smile, "now I've quieted your mind." I love when they say stupid shit like that, you know, quieted your mind. No, I just got redirected. When we look within, there's no entity, there's no mind substance, there's no self, there's no thing we can identify. There's just awareness, the open, empty awareness. Unless we anchor ourselves against it again in thought or grasp after some desired sensation or feeling, we have nowhere to stand. That's where that phrase comes from. There's no anchor, no firm ground. This can be disconcerting, scary, create a kind of feeling of vertigo, of lack of orientation, so used to orienting towards ego. While there may be a profusion of activity within that field, sounds, sensations, images, there's no thing to hold on. There's no self behind the curtain managing things. So when we say no mind, no self, what is the no self? The self that's the no self is because it's not a thing. It is no thing. So when we talk about nothingness, it's not an absence. It's just that it's not a thing. It's an awareness. This seeing of no thing is what the Tibetan teachers call the supreme seeing. But this emptiness, this no thingness, is not empty of life. Rather, empty awareness is full of presence. So the more I empty the content, the more space I create for life to fill. The more I'm present to life because I'm not attaching, I'm not attending to anything, I'm not grasping. So everything comes in to fill that void that I am. The very nature of awareness is cognizant. You don't have to try to be aware. Remember, I said a couple of weeks ago, the beauty of the ocean is it's good to stay there because it doesn't need me. It's going to keep oceaning, whether I direct anything, control anything, understand anything, it's going to be doing its thing. Awareness does the same thing, people. When you're in awareness, you don't have to direct it towards stuff. It's grasping everything immediately without any intention or any direction. In this moment, sounds are heard, vibration is felt, form of color is seen, and this knowing happens instantaneously, spontaneously. Like a sunlit sky, awareness is radiant in cognizance and boundless enough to contain all life. Sri Nisargadatta said, the real world is beyond our thoughts and ideas. We see it through the net of our desires divided into pleasure and pain, right or wrong, inner and outer. But to see the universe as it is, you must step beyond that net. And that's not hard to do because the net is so full of holes. So again, when we begin to focus on the holes and not the net, begin to see through the awareness that contains all things, that's where you can finally land and rest. Because think about it, if it contains everything, if it fulfills all my desires, if it's instantly grasping everything that's around me, pretty good place to rest. So in our meditation today, we'll be anchoring in the body. Again, wonderful place to live. So I'm going to turn it over.
Okay. Find my meditation. This is the second one in the chapter on the body. Last week was mindfulness of the body. And this week is feeling from the inside out. And let me see, how long is this one? It is about 11 minutes. So then we'll continue on for the full 20 minutes.
The great novelist D.H. Lawrence wrote, vitally, the human race is dying. It's like a great uprooted tree with its roots in the air. We must plant ourselves again in the universe. As we mindfully experience the actual sensations in our body, we're planting ourselves in the universe. In the last session, you began exploring feeling the body from the inside out. So today we'll do a mindful survey of the body, getting a sense of where it's easier to feel sensations, and also those areas where you might think of it as our roots are in the air, the areas that feel more inaccessible. When we're primarily living in our mind, we tend to observe our physical form from a distance. You might remember that quote from James Joyce about his character who lived a short distance from his body. So at these times, we're typically unaware of bodily sensations. At most, we're feeling only the sensations on the surface of our body. So when we're out of touch with a more full felt sense of our body, there are several consequences, and I want to name them for you. One big one is that we're unable to tune into the intelligence in our body that actually lets us know how to take good care of ourselves. Scientists tell us that the brain is connected to huge networks of neurons in the heart and the gut. So we don't think only with our head. There's critical information in the whole body that we can pay attention to and learn from. There's an essay I'd like to read to you that I feel illustrates this in a really powerful way. I am the pain in your head, the knot in your stomach, the unspoken grief in your smile. I am your high blood pressure, your fear of challenge, your lack of trust. I'm your hot flashes, your fragile low back, your agitation and fatigue. You tend to disown me, suppress me, ignore me, coddle me, condemn me. You usually want me to go away immediately, to disappear, to slip back into obscurity. More times than not, I'm only the recent notes of a long symphony, the most evident branches of roots that have been challenged for seasons. So I implore you, I'm a messenger with good news, as disturbing as I can be at times. I'm wanting to guide you back to those tender places in yourself, the place where you can hold yourself with compassion and honesty. I may ask you to alter your diet, to get more sleep, exercise regularly, breathe more consciously. I might encourage you to see a vaster reality and worry less about the day-to-day fluctuations of life. I may ask you to explore the bonds and wounds of your relationships. I am your friend, not your enemy. I have no desire to bring pain and suffering into your life. I'm simply tugging at your sleeve, too long immune to gentle nudges. You are a being so vast, so complex, with amazing capacities for self-regulation and healing. Let me be one of the harbingers that leads you to the mysterious core of your being, where insight and wisdom are naturally available when called upon with a sincere heart. So the first consequence of being disconnected from our body is that we can't listen to the messages that are essential for our well-being. This disconnection from our body also limits our ability to sense and comprehend what's going on in others. The mirror neurons that enable us to be attuned to others are only activated if we have a degree of conscious connection with our own sensations and emotions. So mindfulness of our body is essential in being empathically connected with others. Finally, when we're disconnected from our bodies, we don't feel a visceral sense of belonging to the natural world, to the elements, the land, to other creatures. So when our roots are in the air, we end up not only not taking good care of ourselves, but also not taking good care of our larger body, our planet. Pulling away from the body means that we're pulling away from the domain in which we feel love, joy, empathy, creativity, intuition, empowerment, all the experiences that are most central to living a full life. We need to plant ourselves again and again in this living universe. As you awaken your capacity to feel that aliveness that flows through your whole body, you'll experience a natural love for life, a celebration of life. Eduardo Galeano puts it this way: the church says the body is a sin. Science says the body is a machine. Advertising says the body is a business. The body says, I am a fiesta. Okay, let's practice together deepening mindfulness of the body. Please find a comfortable seated position and close your eyes. Take some moments to adjust your posture so that you have a sense of sitting upright and at ease. You might take a few full breaths, releasing any tension with each exhale. And now allow the breath to be natural, relaxing with the inflow and outflow. And invite yourself to be right here, at home in this breathing body. Take a moment to imagine your body as a house and sense with curiosity where you're primarily living. Is it up in the attic, in the mind? Or is there some strong discomfort drawing your attention to a particular room, maybe your lower back or belly? Imagine you could descend from top down, bringing your attention gently to any areas the tension has accumulated. You might feel through the head and the face, softening the muscles around the eyes, the root of the tongue. Notice if you can feel your face, feel your mouth, feel down into your throat and neck. Notice the sensations there. Allow the shoulders to fall away from the neck, loosen and relax. Can you feel the sensations inside your shoulders? Softening the hands, see if you can feel sensations inside of your hands. Continue to notice what parts of the body, house are easy to access and what are more difficult. Feeling the chest area. Can you experience sensations inside the chest and the heart? Softening the abdominal area. Seeing if you can feel inside the belly and experience what's there. Continuing to scan down the torso, breathe and see if you can feel the life through the pelvic region. How accessible sensations are in this part of the body house. Allow the attention to move through the legs, the soles of the feet. As you surveyed your body in this way, did you notice any areas that feel particularly alive, easy to feel? Any areas that are difficult to contact? You can trust that with practice, your experience of your body will become increasingly direct, refined, and vibrant. Now widen the attention to feel the whole body. How is your body feeling right now? Is there a sense of aliveness, sluggishness, buzzing, achiness, pleasantness, flow? Without judgment, simply survey the field of bodily experience with mindfulness, simply breathing and noticing the quality of changing sensations and letting them be just as they are. For the final moments of the sitting, bring your attention back to your anchor of the breath. Or if you'd like to choose an alternative home base, sense where sensations in your body are easiest to feel and are either pleasant or neutral. As we've explored, typically this might be your hands, your feet, or you might have as an anchor combining the breathing with sensations in your hands. Rest in the sensations of your home base while including the background field of sensation with a calm, easy presence.
Okay, I'm not sure you could hear the bowl ring. We switched to the phone just to let you guys know the battery on Bart's laptop is very low. So if we need to switch to the phone, just stay with us. Okay,
Okay,
so I'm
Cherry
getting
says,
thumbs up. You can hear me now?
okay, Cherry says she's got it, so,
Okay,
good.
okay.
Good.
Yep, if we
Thank
get
you.
kicked off, we'll just shift over to the phone. Battery low, there it is, so.
Okay, so
Okay. It's gonna go.
questions, comments?
Hey, I was just gonna say something about the beginning when you were talking about the net around us. And I had the vision of, how they put the printed images on the sides of buses and you can't see in the windows.
Right,
But when you're sitting on the inside, you can see out, but at night, when the light's on the inside, you can see right through It's that screen that seems impenetrable, but it just depends on which side the light's on.
I
You
like
put the light on the side that you're looking at, and that's all you can see is the screen. But if the light's on the other side, then you see right through the screen and see what's there.
I love it. That's great, thank you.
Yep. Great image. I loved her, the end of that reading essay, I am a fiesta, the body.
I'm coming
Or it
back
wasn't
to,
the essay, it was another reading.
yeah,
But yeah,
coming back to that
oh man.
next week, yeah.
I thought it was really interesting when she said, where in the body do you feel yourself the most? Where are you in your body or something like that? Where is it? Right in the beginning. Thought that was really interesting.
Yeah, the rooms in the house. Are you in the attic? Are you, yeah.
I feel like I do just by default. Push away most sensations. As from a kid, if you're an anxious kid, you just learn to do that without even thinking about it. And so just by default.
Well, that's a primary defense. And one of the founders, the whole body movement, was Alexander Lowen, that some of you may remember from the 70s. And he said we move into our heads as children and we seal the door at our throats, which is why when emotion comes up, you feel that automatic constriction in the throat. And that's part of what dissociation means. And the sad thing is you don't know you're dissociated until you experience something. Does that make sense? And it's when I can finally actually feel that I can feel my hands that I go, oh, I guess I wasn't connected to my hand, or I guess I wasn't connected to my hips or wasn't connected to that. So that's why these are kind of fun explorations, because you're discovering, and I love that phrase, automatic. It becomes when Pema says we're so used to running from discomfort, she's not just talking about an intention to run. We're not all Sir Robin of Locksley. He bravely ran away and lived to run another day. From Monty Python. It's more that our body has an automatic tendency to close. That's why that section in Untethered Soul got a whole section on overcoming the tendency to close, the tendency to dissociate. How do I stay present in the face of that discomfort? Is what we're working on, developing a tolerance for these sensations and intense sensations. I mean, I counseled one woman who wouldn't let her see herself be orgasmic because the intensity of orgasm is too intense. When she'd get close, she'd automatically shut down and had to learn to soften into even an intense pleasurable experience. She was denying herself that as well, not just negative, but staying in a very narrow range of intensity on either end.
Bart, is there, sometimes I find a temptation when I don't want to think about something because it's making me anxious. I whip into meditation mode and I just start focusing on my breathing. And I think that's not always a good thing because I'm avoiding dealing with the anxiety or whatever it is that's unpleasant. I'm sort of escaping it by meditating or, wherever I am, just focusing on my breathing. Isn't that a problem?
I'm just laughing because what's his name who goes, you make problem, you got problem. So is it a problem? No, it's not a problem, but it's an awareness. And I like the awareness because the awareness is you're doing the right thing. And first I establish my ground. So now I'm with my breath, I'm taking refuge in my breath. I've got the awareness. Now invite Mara to tea. Now open the doors. Yeah. So I had.
I guess I haven't gotten that friendly with Mara yet. Mostly, if I'm feeling really anxious about something that's coming up, and I start, spiraling into my anxiety, I realize what I'm doing and I say, okay, we got to stop this. This isn't going anywhere but down the rabbit hole. Right. So I stop and I do the breathing. But I don't think I know how to deal with the anxiety in any other way than to just meditate and focus on my breathing. I'm not really dealing with the anxiety, right?
Great question. That's a great question. Okay. First of all, anxiety is a word. You're not dealing with a thing called anxiety. What you're dealing with is a flood of sensations in your body that are uncomfortable. So that's why this is such a beautiful meditation, is begin to explore the sensations that you're calling anxiety. We're always looking for more energy. Well, anxiety is a tremendous high energy state. The minute I start resisting it, I lose energy by resisting it, and I lose energy because of the energy that's available in the anxiety. So, where am I feeling it? I'm feeling it in my stomach. I feel it in a narrowing of my attention. I feel it as a heightened awareness of my heart rate going up. All of these are natural things. The stomach is associated because when you're trigger adrenaline, it shuts your digestion down. That's all you're feeling. This is not. Oh, okay, my digestion shut down. My heart's elevating because I have a perception of threat. I'm getting prepared to run away. These are not bad things, folks. These are things that I experience elevated heart rate all the time. I experience clenching while I'm driving my car, but it's because I call it anxiety. I trigger a whole chain of associations. I can't let anybody see me sweat. I have to hide this. What if I'm in a conference and I get up and move around? You'd hate being in a workshop with me because I'm in the back pacing. I can't sit in a chair. I'm afraid people are going to judge me for the way I am. Get up, shake, move your body, do things, release that energy, put it somewhere where it can open. Give it space. It's not the anxiety, it's the trapped energy that's uncomfortable. Is this making any sense? The resistance is the suffering. The saying, I don't want this, is why you suffer.
And don't forget that the anxiety is the teaspoon of salt, and your instinct to meditate is to open to awareness, to allow that teaspoon of salt to be dissolved in the awareness that meditation gives you. So no, you're not avoiding the anxiety. You're giving it space. You know, I think that the instinct is absolutely right. And that's what meditation does for us. It gives us the awareness, the openness to allow those intense feelings to dissipate, to be absorbed. And that's what allows you to invite Mara into the room, because now you've got open space. You've got, you know, the awareness of the universe that allows you to invite her in.
Okay, right, exactly. So for those of you who don't know that phrase, Mara is another word for the devil in Buddhism, temptation, resistance. So inviting Mara to tea is basically saying, inviting all the things that you would otherwise resist to come in, be present and at home with you. So again, it's the closing that's the problem. It's not what you're closing against.
Just welcome it all in.
Good.
Okay.
So I've been working on being more specific in naming what I'm feeling. And anxiety is such an overarching term for me that working on, am I afraid of something specific? Is there foreboding about something I don't know? Maybe I'm just excited and it's reading as anxiety. Renaming, for me, renaming it sometimes helps me deal with what it is specifically, as opposed to when I think I'm feeling overarching anxiety, it's too big for me. And I'm trying to narrow it.
That's what I said by that label. As I was driving yesterday, I'm doing 75 miles an hour in bumper to bumper traffic, trying to look at the landscape. And I don't know where I'm going. A totally strange place. And so the anxiety starts coming up. And I did exactly that. I said, can I experience this as excitement about being on the road and on an adventure? Immediately it opened up because the intensity was there. You know, the feeling pressure, refocus outward and look at all the space around you in the fucking hill country. I could see Arizona from where I was, and I'm feeling claustrophobic. So these are the things you begin to play with to create that space, like Tommy was saying, to begin to dilute the intensity of those body sensations. Just call it intensity.
I keep going back to something, I think it was Tara said, in that we're not trying to do something, that we're undoing.
Yes.
And so that idea, because if I come to an uncomfortable place, I want to do something to change it, but if I can just sit with it, then it can maybe undo. But if I try to change it or do something, then it's blocking the whole process. But what do you have to say about that statement, that you're not doing, you're trying to undo? How do you take that, Bart?
First of all, you're not trying anything.
Thank you.
Effort closes you. You're allowing, all right? It will automatically undo. So what we're doing is we're creating a space where the conditioned mind comes in. Like Channy's saying.
There it goes. Okay. Shift. Where's your
Battery's dead. It's gonna come back.
Bart's battery just died. I'm sure they're just going there they are. They're on the phone.
Where'd they go?
That'll
There
be
they
back.
are. Oh, they're muted.
Okay, can you hear us now?
Yes.
Yes.
Okay.
Yay!
Don't leave us. Don't leave us unattended.
Who knows?
It
what-
didn't take long. I'm impressed.
I love this. That you just discovered the mystery of reincarnation. One
Oh, a long
computer
time
died
ago.
and we picked it up on another computer. So
Wow. Okay, well, that worked.
we didn't go
Love it.
anywhere.
Love it.
Okay, so we bring the conditioned mind in. It is the nature. This is the inside of Buddhism. Everything is impermanent. When you resist it or attach to it, you keep it in existence. If you want to get rid of it, quit holding on to it, quit fighting it. So that's the secret, is let it come in, let it express itself, and it'll go away. You don't have to make it go away.
That
So
rings.
the sad thing is that
There's nothing to undo.
there's
Is that what
nothing
you're
to it will undo itself. It's stop keeping it in existence. Does that make sense? So when my clients come in, for example, and I've got a kid who said, my parents try to control me, and I'll hand them a towel and I'll say, okay, I'm your parents now. I want you to pull on the thing and say, let go of me. And they go, let go of me. And I go, no, let go of me. No, let go of me. No, no, no. And then all of a sudden it dawns on them, they let go of it. Yeah. I don't have to make this go away. I just have to quit hanging on to it.
That rings really true for me. And I think I told you guys this before, years and years and years ago, when I first had my first experience with anxiety, had my first panic attack. My mom, who also, I don't know anybody that doesn't have anxiety, but anyway, so my mom told me, don't resist it. When you feel that, she said, just go with it, challenge it. Say, oh, here comes the anxiety, here comes the heart rate, which, here we go. Because
roller coaster.
The roller coaster. Yeah. This is all kind of related. Yeah, it's an interesting, it's a very interesting, to me, I find it very fascinating that the more you resist the anxiety, the worse it gets. And as soon as you just step into it, take a step forward instead of away, you become really empowered.
Yeah.
Well, my anxiety is over something very specific. It's something that's going to happen in a few days, where I have to give a presentation, and I have made the decision to go with something very unusual, that has a lot of moving parts. Like the sound system has to work, the audio has to be at the right volume, and it has to start precisely when my last slide starts. There are a lot of moving parts to it, and I've got something like 35 people involved, and so the choreography has to work right. Now, see, there's my mistake. I'm saying that it has to work right, and
Right,
that means
exactly.
I have created in my mind this version of perfection.
Yes.
If this goes off perfectly, then the staging is going to be right. I'm going to get all the people involved at the right time, and and I think I've just realized that I need to let go of all of that. Everybody has their instructions. They know what they're supposed to do, and now I need to just let go and
Yes.
and let it happen. And
Yes.
if it doesn't go exactly the way I have imagined it in my mind, well, then so be it. That's the way it's going to be.
That's the way it's going to be that day. Yep.
Good for you.
Well,
And
look at our deal today. It didn't go the way we wanted it to go, but we're still here and still talking. So
yeah, but you don't have hundreds of people watching you.
oops.
okay, do you see what you're doing?
Yeah.
What you're doing is you're catastrophizing.
Mhm.
This is exactly, you know, it's like when you float on the ocean, it doesn't matter whether you're in 10-mile deep ocean or 3 feet. You're only floating on the top. And in the same way here, in the moment, it doesn't matter how many people are watching. What difference does that make?
Hey, Bart, can you hear me?
All I've done is, if I mean, this is not you personally. If I take a 4-inch stripe and I put it on the ground and I say, walk across this 4-inch stripe, most of us will be able to walk across the stripe. Now, the little beams that they have at the gym, the guys and girls learning gymnastics now walk across that beam. Now they can walk across that. Put it up 4 feet high. Can you walk across that? Now put it 100 feet in the air with no net. Can you walk across it? It's the same 4 inches, people. It's the perception of threat. Does that make sense? So your mind keeps telling you how what's going to happen? Catastrophe. No one can deal with all the things you've heaped up. So my teacher, the way he dealt with me was, he says, imagine all the things that can go wrong. And he says, I will guarantee you none of that's going to happen.
You know what really helps me too is another thought. It's like whenever it goes wrong, you give an opportunity for someone to make it right. You give an opportunity for someone to see what's happening, and in their mind that might create another thought in their mind. That thought might have had to be there, you know. It's like if I can't do the job that I'm supposed to do, that just leaves it open for someone else to jump in and do it, and maybe they were supposed to do it. So, you know, it just kind of flows. That helps me sometimes.
Yeah.
Good one.
Well, this is where we cultivate the attitude of no biggie. Janet. So I fuck up, no biggie. I guarantee you 10,000 years from now, no one's going to remember Channy fucked up. I promise you that.
Well,
any of us, exactly. So, you know,
that's definitely true. However, I live with all the people who are going to see me fuck up.
Okay, argue for
And
the
so
catastrophe.
I've got to walk around with everybody knowing that I fucked up.
Yeah, but they're not gonna look at it like that. They're not gonna
Yes.
see it like that.
Right.
I guarantee you, just like when you sit and see someone have technical problems, you feel compassion and loving kindness and want
Yeah.
to do something to help fix
Yeah.
it. That's what they're going to feel. There
Yeah.
may be some look. I'll close with one last thing.
We've got 4 minutes.
I was
Can I say something?
gave a sermon at the Frank Lloyd Wright Church up in Madison, Wisconsin, and it was on institutional hierarchies versus circles. And I tell a story about a guy who was physically challenged and in a wheelchair, and they were doing a circle dance, and he was included in the dance in his wheelchair. And he said to everyone afterwards, I want to thank you because it's the first time I've ever danced with anyone in my life. Well, when I tell that story, I cry. Okay, so I'm up in the pulpit at a Unitarian church crying. This is not done, people, in case you don't know. We're rationalists. We don't have emotion. And so, people afterwards are coming up and tell me how much they enjoyed it. Meanwhile, someone put a note on my pulpit that said, "You're obviously a deeply disturbed young man." Okay. When you get your life straightened out and you have something to share with us, I'd love to have you back. Okay.
Ooh.
Who am I going to listen to, Channing? Okay. Because that guy is out there, but so are the 10 other people who came up and said, that was just what I needed to hear. Thank you so much. Who are you playing to, Channing? Realize it's an audience in your head. It's catastrophizing. It's not going to be as bad as your brain tells you it is. It's not going to be as good. These are just this is neuroscience. You're in the projection room projecting potential catastrophic scenarios. That's what it does. It only has negative information. It can only come up with catastrophic solutions.
Okay.
It's the ego mind.
No, it's your brain. It's what your brain does.
Scanning for threats.
So we got to learn to say, thank you.
Yes.
Thank you for your concern. I'm going to go ahead and plan this thing.
I'm going to go ahead and have a good time.
Hey, can I say one thing? Can
Yeah.
can I say something? Before we go, I did a short film and honored Bart's life with that film. And it was all about the chatter in the mind and anxiety during the night. It's called Living with the Mind, and it's on YouTube. And I would love to share that with y'all. It's a short film. I think it's around 11 or 12 minutes. And it's called Living with the Mind. And it honors Bart. And if you can remember, have you ever heard of Isadora Duncan?
Yeah.
So if you take the word Isadora and you turn it around, it's Aradasi. So it's Aradasi Films. So I'd like to share that with you if you want to look it up later on.
Thank you, Dorothy. You can just go to YouTube and search.
Yes.
Living with the mind.
Living with the mind.
Or not.
Yeah.
How about losing your mind?
I could have called it Mara, but I didn't call it Mara because I thought that was too advanced. If I just put
Yeah,
living with the
you
mind.
did right. You did right.
She did great.
It's a great little film.
Yeah.
And in watching Dorothy's film, if I can be so bold, what Joseph Campbell has a wonderful line. He calls it willful suspension of disbelief. He says, when you go to a play, you've got to kind of ignore the fact that I'm sitting in a chair watching someone on stage who's acting, and this isn't really happening, or I can't get into the flow of the play. And that's why bad acting doesn't work, is because it reminds you that you're watching a play with bad actors. Good acting lets you stay in the flow of it. So with Dorothy, I like to let go of trying to understand what I'm experiencing and just submerge myself in the impression. They're very impressionistic films. And if you can just let yourself be carried away by the images you're seeing, they're profound. They're just wonderful. So let's go ahead and ohm ourselves out. Thank you all for showing up and educating me.
And me, and staying with us.
And next week, we're at Father Kennedy.
But we will
We will hold our group.
meditation.
Father Kennedy is doing a retreat for any of you who would like to experience him. It's Morning Star Zendo. If you can't afford it, you can ask for a scholarship.
It's
It's
$75
$75
for the week.
for the weekend. He has some good teachers. We generally meditate from 6:30 in the morning till 2 in the afternoon. We'll start Thursday evening, Friday evening for one sit, which is an hour. Then we'll start
Saturday and Sunday.
Saturday and Sunday morning. We get out early, I think, on Sunday, but
And the hours are odd because he also Zooms with his
His group.
sanghas in Ireland. So
so
we accommodate them as well.
but they have the same format that we do.
Yep.
So
Yep. Bye, Julie. All right, let's take a deep breath in. All right, so we are off to meet Francis and Nancy for brunch here in Austin.
Wow.
And part of our Sangha, so we get to connect live.
Yep.
with you.
We're going to First Watch, which they have in Shreveport, and Samantha and I have loved it. But here they've got 100 of them.
Nobody-
They got
I
started.
wanna
here.
know what
I'm-
Tiffany's shirt says. Merciless Indian what?
Savages.
Savages.
Oh my God.
Oh,
It's a Minnesota t-shirt.
The
That's-
fine print says Declaration of Independence.
All right.
What was this?
okay. Her t-shirt.
Wait,
Uh,
what was the name of Dorothy's film again? I couldn't,
Living with
Living
the
with the
Mind.
mind.
Living with the mind.
and I'm on it,
Living-
but I looked on YouTube, and what else should I put?
Okay, you've got to look for Aradasi.
Living with the
Films.
Mind, and it's Aradasi Films.
R-O, spell it.
Arodasi.
Isadora spelled backwards.
Oh, got it.
Aradasi Films.
And she has other films too.
We've got to go.
If you're not aware, she won an Eastern European Film Prize for another
So
film.
there'll be
She
other
just-
films on there too.
So there are more than one film. She's an accomplished gal, invited to a lot of film festivals and stuff. And Marianne Cummings' daughter, Lee Eddy, and Laura, maybe you can talk to this, has also won a film prize and is showing her films around. So we've got an accomplished group of filmmakers here.
Cool. Thank you.
Wow.
Thanks,
Indies.
everybody.
Bye, y'all. Gotta go get in the
Bye,
garden.
y'all. Have a
Love
great
you.
week.
Bye.
We'll see you
Thank
next
you.
weekend.
Bye. Thank you.
Bye-bye. Thanks.
Thank you, Matthew.
Thank you, Matthew,
Yeah.
for your dog.
Thank you.
Tom and Alice, we're
We're
gone.
taking
Okay.
See
All
ya.
right.
Sandy.
Love you,
Love
everybody.
you.
Bye, Tim. Bye, everybody.
Bye-bye. Bye-bye.